Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate you taking a few moments. If you will, again, I ask you to uh, click the like or the share or make a comment on the post. And then, if you like, you can join me in the book of Colossians, chapter 4. Now, think about that for a second. Colossians, chapter 4, beginning in verse 2. And I feel a little guilty even commenting on what Paul says here because he says it so plainly. Continue steadfastly in prayer, being watchful in it with thanksgiving. At the same time, pray also for us that God may open to us a door for the word to declare the mystery of Christ, on account of which I am in prison, that I may make it clear, which is how I ought to speak. So he makes it very clear here what his objective is to pray. From the prayer, then, he says in verse 5, walk in wisdom towards outsiders, making the best use of time. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. And those two statements, I think, really connect with each other, even though they, again, he begins with this clear call to prayer that believers should be very serious about their prayer life. But without the prayer, then how would one walk in wisdom, make the best use of their time, their speech being gracious, knowing how to answer each person? It begins with our prayer life. And so Paul says that we are to be alert, we are to be aware, we are to be in prayer, says being watchful, like a guard on sentry duty. We are to be alert in our prayer life, what we pray for, how we pray, how often we pray, that it should be an active part of our life as believers. And one analogy that I read said that for a believer, equipped with all the armor that Paul describes in the book of Ephesians, and then who refuses to pray, is like giving a soldier all the most modern warfare equipment, giving them all the best materials and armor and weaponry, and then not giving him a radio so that he can communicate with his commander. We must be people of prayer. And then he says, he goes on and he says, here's something you can pray for. Pray for me. Pray that God would open a door for the word, that I might be able to proclaim the good news of Jesus Christ. And we should, again, that should be a prayer that we should still be praying, that God would open opportunity, that he would not only for ourselves, but other believers would be able to share the gospel. And then I think the key here is this statement that he makes at the end when he tells us to walk in wisdom, making the best use of our time, that we would pray, that we would pray for each other, pray for me, pray for others in the faith, that we would walk wisely when it comes to lost people, to outsiders, to non-believers. I think all of us are aware that many times non-believers have been turned against the faith, who have rejected the gospel of Jesus Christ because of the actions or the attitudes or the stray words of a professing believer. And we need to be cautious in how we walk among outsiders, making the best use of, he says, the time. I think it's an accurate way of saying it, making best use of the opportunity. Whenever we are around, we're in the presence, when we have access to those who don't know Christ, that we make the best use of that time, and that our speech is seasoned with salt. And Salt on most things just simply enhances the flavor. He's saying, let us choose our words carefully. Let us choose our words just right. And one of the other things I think about salt is that everybody uses it differently. Some people use a lot more than others. You choose the right words in the right amount at the right time that we can make it clear to those know how we ought to answer the lost. And so these two thoughts just really go hand in hand together: prayer and walking in wisdom. Let's do that today. Let's spend time in prayer, and then let's go out and let's walk in wisdom. Think about it. Have a great day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.